Oh no, man. I just sold a bunch of Greninjas a few weeks ago and now this card is so much more expensive. Or I just sold a bunch of Celebrations ETBs and now they're so much more valuable. Ah, man, if I could only go back and hang on to those things, if I could only go back and hang on to them and not sell them. Hey, I think you're fine, and I'm going to tell you why in this video. But what's up, guys? My name's TJ. I run a Pokemon card business called PokePaster TCG, where I buy and I sell tons of Pokemon cards. My store is called that because I'm a pastor. That's what I do for work. I work at a church. I'm also a dad, a husband, and so things are busy. But still, in the evenings, I sell Pokemon cards and I make videos and yap about stuff. And in the video yesterday, which you guys have been loving that, and so it's been cool just to engage with so many of you about this this dirty, filthy Shuriken thrower Greninja right here. This is a really cool card, by the way. In that video at the beginning, I talked about my pro seller site and how you can buy through TCG Player, but directly from me, and that I sell all the cards on that site 5% under market. And a few of you guys have been like, hey, like, how are you able to do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, I pay like almost or a lot less in fees. So TCG Player just doesn't get any money, and so I pass that savings along to you guys. And so if you're looking for singles, like something that I want to highlight, I got this Sylveon V, this beautiful alt art from Evolving Skies. Look at Sylveon eating that, she got a little cupcake there. Yeah, Sylveon is my daughter, my oldest, Isabella. It's her favorite Pokemon. Anyways, if you want to check out the stuff I got on that site, the link is right there. But, man, I bet you that you've been having some hindsight seep in a little bit and maybe discourage you over the past few days as some of these cards have been skyrocketing. And to be honest, like, this isn't the first time this has happened. Cards go up, cards go down. It's just how markets work. And I've certainly had it where as I'm buying and selling cards, which is something that happens all the time, you know, you sell a card that you bought at maybe 70%, and so you make your 15% margin or whatever your profit margins are like, 15, 20%. And then a week later or 2 weeks later, that card or that box or whatever, it just skyrockets and you're sitting there like, oh man. And honestly, you know what it made me think of? It made me think of a South Park character from this is one of the later seasons of South Park. I can't remember what it was, but there was a character on South Park. It was a superhero, and his name was Captain Hindsight. And this is hilarious, but his superpower was that he was able to fly to like a scene, like a catastrophe scene. And his superpower was that he would be able to say what they could have done to make that not happen, right? So he showed up at like the oil spill, and he's like, well, if they didn't drill as deep, then they would be able to clean up the mess at the bottom. They'd be able to get the equipment down there. And people are like, oh yeah, like, wow, thank you, Captain Hindsight. And that's kind of what this is, right? Anytime there's a card that skyrockets, there is a little Captain Hindsight in all of us that makes us be like, man, like, TJ, you're such a moron. Why did you sell those Celebrations ETBs at $100 or $90 or whatever it was last time you sold those? If you would have just held on to those, they'd be worth $180 right now, or $190 or whatever the Celebrations ETBs are going for. Or for you guys, like, as you're seeing, you know, Greninja and other cards, Umbreon as well, Rayquaza, the Mega Rayquaza from Celebrations, as you're seeing all these cards, you know, skyrocket up in value. Like, you made your little, like, you know, $1 or $2 selling this card, but you could have made $15, you could have made $20. And I want to kind of cut you a little bit of slack and just let you know that, hey, as a retailer, as someone who is always buying and selling, there is no way for you to know which cards are going to be going up or going down, right? We can speculate, and maybe some of us are good at speculating, and sometimes we like have a good feeling, and so, but there is a difference between having a business where you are buying and selling all the time and investing, right? Those are two different things. And so, hey, if you want to buy some stuff and like sit on it for a little while because you believe that it's a good long-term hold, then that's investing. And by all means, like, go for it and do that. Like, I do that myself. I've got 8 or 9 cases of Paldea Evolved that I bought for like $80 2 years ago. A bunch of cases of Lost Origin that I'm just sitting on. You know, a bunch of other sealed product, the heavy hitters from Sam's Club. I bought those at $40 a piece. Like, those are things I'm just hanging on to. They're on the other side of the basement. I don't even look at them. And so that's investing. But when it comes to like investing in singles or buying singles to hold on to, that's certainly something that you can do. And maybe some of you have. Maybe some of you have a bunch of these Greninjas or a bunch of, you know, other cards that you're like, hey, I think this card's undervalued. But I do want to just give a word of caution. With singles, you don't really know. And if you're like, no, TJ, like who are you? I know. Do you really? Because I think knowing when singles are going to rise and fall is incredibly speculative. I could see you picking up a bunch of Greninjas like this because they're so cheap and being like, hey, they're really cheap. I don't really see them getting any less, so I'm just gonna buy them and sit on them because at some point they're gonna be worth more. And for the most part, like, hey, genius, Sherlock, you're right. Like, they are gonna be worth more at some point. That's just how collectibles work. Over time, they're gonna become more and more scarce, and so it's gonna go up. But anytime you're holding on to something, there is an opportunity cost of holding on to that because there's capital tied up in these cards that you're hanging on to, and you're not able to buy product with that capital. And depending on where you are in your business journey or what your business looks like or what your collection looks like and how much capital you have, how much liquid cash money, baby, you're just like sitting on, having a bunch of capital tied up in singles that may or may not go up doesn't sound like a winning strategy to me, when you can be using that money and just buying and selling, and you know that you're going to make money on that. Basically, anytime I buy a collection at 70%, I know I'm going to make some money for sure. Depending on the collection, depending on what it is, and if it's not something that I make money at 70%, then I've learned like, hey, I can't do 70% for that collection. I have to do like 65 or 60 or whatever. If it's like a bunch of like lower end stuff that I'm going to sit on for a while, but you don't want to have all of your capital if you're trying to have a business, right? There is, like, I've done a video about this before, but there is like a mindset shift or a mindset war or battle, if you will, between like, hey, I'm an investor, I'm going to buy this stuff, I'm not even going to look at it, I'm going to hold on to it because I believe in it long term, and hey, I'm running a business, I'm trying to have stuff on hand that I can sell. I'm a flipper, right? Like, I'm buying stuff to flip it, and the flipping game is all about cash flow, right? Because tomorrow I might get approached. I might have someone send me a message and be like, hey, TJ, you bought my cards a couple months ago. I'm getting out of the hobby. Like, I'm just so upset with all of this stuff. Like, I can't handle it anymore. And here's my $8,000 collection. Will you buy it for $5,000? I've had that happen before. If I don't have $5,000 that I can just go throw at this guy's stuff, I'm going to miss out on that opportunity. And that's a couple grand that I can make just by flipping that particular collection, or even smaller scale. Like, hey, right here. Hey, like, I've got this 151 master set. It's got everything in here, 151, and I want to give it to you for $1,000 or $900 or $800. Like, what can you do for me? If you don't have that money sitting around, there's no way for you to make money on that. And while you're waiting for your, Mimikyu Delta series or whatever Delta species to go up, like, you could be using that money to do other things. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you miss the boat on a certain card that goes up, don't sweat it, because you know what also can happen? The card that you have been holding on to, depending on what it is, there is also a chance that it could go down. Now, if you get in on a card so cheap that it seems like there is no downside and the only downside is the opportunity cost of hanging on to it and having your capital locked up, like, sure, that's one thing. But if you're like buying alt arts or anything else where, like, hey, you're spending a significant amount of money on singles can always go down. Like, I think about people who got into like some of the Scarlet Violet illustration rares because they believed in them, or even some like trainer gallery cards. Like, you never know. Like, you can, or let's say people who bought, gosh, if you did this, this was not the brightest play. If you bought like a bunch of Prismatic Evolutions SIRs, like the Evolutions, because those are just getting crushed right now. Like, you just don't know. And so in my experience, from doing this for over a year, for doing, coming in on $225,000, $230,000 in sales, it's better to be using your money to buy collections and churning and burning quickly. Now, that's a lot of work, okay? If you're not trying to put in the work, if you're not trying to like have your office or your space look like a mess with like envelopes and boxes, and you're not trying to, like, I get that. And if you want something more passive, yes, buy product and just put it in the other side of your basement, put it in the other side of your house, and forget about it. But if you're wanting to buy it, or if you're wanting to work on a business that's going to consistently give you income that you can reliably count on without having to like speculate and hope that the market goes, then you are going to have to put in a crap ton of work. You're going to have to learn how to do the buying and selling and all of that. But you are going to need capital, and if that capital is tied up, you can't buy collections. So that's what I want to give you. So don't let Captain Hindsight. Don't let him win. Don't let him win, because he's the voice is powerful, and sometimes you can beat yourself up. But hey, could have, would have, should have. You don't really know Yeah, so hopefully that's encouraging. Again, if you guys want to check out the stuff that I got on my store, that link is down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. By the way, like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube things. We're closing in on 2,000 subs here, which is crazy, but I love making content for you guys. Also, Jesus loves you. I really believe that. God has an incredible plan for your life. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.